Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. Alright, so I figured I'd do a therapy session. Nothing bad at all. Just feeling pretty good because I was really certain I wasn't going to be able to get my groceries this morning. Thought I only had like 30 bucks left on the EBT because I'm not really sure when the thing actually resets. Never know. It just seems to reset at a certain date there in the middle of the month or something. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, how much can I struggle with? I'm running out of bananas and all these different things. Turns out that I had enough to get what I needed. So that's the testimony of the day. Sometimes you wake up in the morning or whatever, so certain things are going to go one way, and then you look up and things are, better, I guess you could say, than what you anticipated. So that's what I get to say this morning. Yeah, nothing else really. Just looking forward to attacking the day. Of course, it's a holiday weekend. Everybody, I hope you're enjoying your Good Friday, Saturday, and of course Easter Sunday coming up tomorrow. And I'm just continuing to deal with my circumstance. Obviously, it's a lot, but my sister hit me up and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her on the 14th and be able to meet some new folks and all of that good stuff in her life. And I'm like, I would love to, but right now, with everything I got going on, I can't see myself just hopping up to a social situation. And that's the thing. It's like, it's kind of frustrating for me because I'm not the person that communicates very well with people about what I got going on. So it's not like I'm sitting here telling people, hey, this is what I got going on, this is what you should know. But it's just kind of awkward when people ask me to do normal things, really normal things, and they don't understand that my head doesn't ever really want to do those things. And it's not because I don't appreciate them, it's just because of whatever this is that I'm wired to be keeps me like this. And I've never ever known how to deal with it, and I've never really known how to tell people that I lost friends because of this kind of thing, because I wouldn't show up to social gatherings. It meant a lot. A good friend of mine, I didn't go to her wedding because of certain mindset I was in back when at the time when she was getting married. It made sense, for her and the timing of her life, but in order for me to be there at that time of my life, it would take a lot more than I had. So it's like I don't really know how to communicate to that to people who know me but don't know that necessarily. I don't know how to communicate that. It's like I'm not gonna be there. I do want to be there, and it's not because I'm a snotty person that doesn't like you or people that you got going in your world. It's just because I'm totally different in my mindset, and I got to figure out why that is. And then that will allow me to want to do certain things that I just don't want to do ever, like literally ever. And so that's really what it is. It's not even about whether or not I think I have a good time or nothing. I got way too much to consider to see myself actually saying yes to something like that. Just too much going on. I don't know where I'm gonna be living 2 months from now. I can't see myself going out and sitting in a social setting and having conversations about how things are fine. They're not. And if I start telling people what they really are, it's going to bring the mood down. So that's really what it comes down to. My sister's a social butterfly. She's a super social person, and I'm literally the absolute opposite. So it's rough, man. The funny thing was, my mom was the same way. The women I'm drawn to are usually the same way. So it just doesn't work for me. Social butterflies and bubbly personalities, and then this doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to. I'm being invited to something. I would love to have the mindset to go because I love my sister, I love my family, and they're gonna be there. But what I got going on, it ain't gonna be me being a bubbly BDF or none of that. I'm not even sure how it would be. But I know that I'm not thinking about doing anything like that at this moment, and it's unfortunate because life is short, and you want to be able to spend time with people you love without anything in the way, including yourself. So that's just one more thing I got to get help for. It's my communication with the people that are in my life, so that they can be closer, so that they can know what's going on, so that they can either help or not, or whatever it would be. But when you don't let people in, they don't know, they're not gonna find out, and that's how it goes. I get frustrated to another degree because it's like I've started this channel. All of you guys know what's going on if you follow me as closely as you do, but the people who love me have no idea. They don't know unless they follow the channel too, which I don't know that they do. So it's like, unless you're in my life to the degree where you are involved in what I'm doing, to a degree, like unless you're interested in what I'm doing, it's almost getting to a point where I'm not interested. You know what I mean? It's almost like that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just at a point where I'm like, the Brandon they used to know has started doing some things that I've thrown my entire self into. Some of those people know what it is, some of them don't. But at this point, this is what I do. This is what I'm about. This is where I am. This is where my spirit is. It's in this channel. It's in my art. It's in my playlist. And I don't promote too much at all. And I probably should promote more. But I think it's one of those situations where I just kind of do what I do in the shadows. And I'm trying to get better without really nobody knowing about it too much. Just work in the shadows quietly. Everything. My basketball channel, therapy session stuff, art. This fitness thing, this mission I'm on, this endless fitness mission I'm on. All of it is done by myself in silence. But it gets to a point where it's like you start to realize that you're doing all of this and you're growing, but the people who love you aren't interested. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like when you finally start doing something with your life. Now, granted, they don't know that you're becoming productive. They don't know that, you know what I mean? They don't know that you have turned the corner in regards to how you view yourself and the respect that you want from others, or you've turned the corner in regards to now you're productive and you want people to notice that you're being productive, and you want them to know that you're putting in work. And it's like, as the more I grow proud of what it is I'm doing, the less appreciative I am of the fact that people don't know it, or don't care to know it, or haven't gotten curious about what it is I'm doing. Now, that doesn't mean that I've created myself to be someone that they would be curious about. If anything, I'm the standoff person that only comes around once in a while. So obviously, I should be only in their mind every so once in a while. And when they do invite me to stuff, look what I do. So I'm not resentful. I'm just in it. And what I'm telling you is, it gets to a point, and I'm not talking about my sister at all, because she's not one of those people at all. She's really not. In fact, she's not close enough to me to know this. And if she were, she would be involved. That much I know. So this is not pointed at her, but this is just pointed at the out world of the people that I know. All in my circle. Some of my friends are really interested in what I'm doing. Like my boy T, every time I talk to him, he's trying to tell me something that he believes will help me with this channel. And that's the type of support I really appreciate. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people who know what I'm doing. And they're not curious. And I feel like if I blow up, they want to know what's up. Then it's like, oh, he's important now. And it's like, but I was important to you before, when I wasn't productive. You know what I mean? When y'all thought I wasn't doing anything that made me happy, y'all were interested. But now that I'm doing something, they don't know. Like, they're not curious. I got a channel. This is the channel. Go check it out. Where are they? I've done over probably 3,000 videos. I ain't had one feedback from one of those people. Where y'all at? And that's what it really comes down to. It's like, oh, I get it. Because everybody's doing their own thing. And I, too, am ignoring somebody who's doing something I probably should be paying attention to. So it's not personal. But it just gets to a point when you're in it, when you're like a creative like me, you really don't want to do anything other than create, because you know what you're doing is something you're good at, and you know the people who are paying attention to it deserve the most out of you. So you do not want to do anything other than what it is that you've been doing, because those people matter more, because they actually know who I am. I've given more of you guys who I am than any of the people who know me. And if the people who knew me knew this side of me, they would actually know who I actually am. They would understand why I've been away. They would understand why I struggle. They would understand what my mission is. They would understand my relationship with God. One of the things I'll be thinking about is my grandmother, rest in peace. But, you know, her problem with me is she thought I didn't have a relationship with God. It's one of the reasons why I've done this. It's one of the reasons why I've done it in this way, because it's like one of the people who's supposed to be aware of my spirit very much had absolutely no idea who I was because of this distance I keep with everybody else, and because of the misunderstanding that a lot of people have about my personality for whatever reason. But it's like, for my grandmother, my very own grandmother, to sit in my face in front of me and a bunch of people that I knew, a couple of people that knew me better than she did, and told me the reason that she didn't respect how I was moving is because she didn't see me have a relationship with God. I'm like, the only thing that's keeping me alive is that relationship that you think I do not have. That relationship that you saying that you're not going to give me something that I need from you because of, is the same relationship that's keeping me from hating you for doing that. And it's like, okay, cool. That's an environment I created with my own space, my own mental health, my own way of doing things. I created that by being standoffish and not being bubbly like my mom. My mom calls people every 3 days to make sure they're straight. She tried to put me on the phone with those people. I get angry. Don't put me on the phone with nobody. I got anxiety. I don't want to talk to nobody. All they're going to do is apply pressure and ask me why I'm not as bubbly as you. Why I'm not doing things in school that make life easier for you because you're the nice person they love, and I'm the person that's creating problems for you. And it's like, that's what it was for me. That's why I didn't want to talk to my uncle and my grandfather and those people, because when she get on the phone with them, she tell them how hard of a time she's having with me. And it didn't come from a standpoint of, oh, he's struggling and he's traumatized and he's trying to overcome it. He's insubordinate. He's being stubborn and he's making my life hard. And your grandson, your nephew is a misfit. He don't listen to me. He don't do what I tell him to do. He don't want to go to school. It's like, it's always a complaint about my behavior as opposed to what caused that behavior and why. And so I'm growing up with all of this weighing down on me, keeping me from wanting to talk to people that she tells me are supposed to be in my corner. But every time I talk to them, it's some challenge about why I'm not doing something that I'm having trouble doing to begin with, that I don't not want to do. So that type of stuff is just like, yo, I don't want to deal with none of y'all. Respect, love, but I am cool. Y'all just more of a problem. You know, I'm trying to work on my own pace. I got my own way to go. I got a creative mind that can create things that none of y'all can create. And I know it, and I've never been able to show it. All I hear is y'all telling me, you can't, or you're not. And I'm like, F off. All of yous. You're not helping, you're hurting. I'll figure this out on my own. And that's what I grew up like that. And as I grew up that way, I realized I didn't have relationships with people. They didn't know me. Nobody knows me. I got a world full of people I do not know. That's why I stay in the house comfortably. Because there's a lifetime full of people that have never met me. They know my face. They know my energy to a degree, but they don't know what the heck is in here or what I'm really about, because I've never had a chance to show them, ever, until this channel. But if they never seen any of them videos, they don't know what's in there. People love at me. Just like people talk at you. They're not talking to you, they're talking at you. You need to do this because people like you do that. That's how I've been loved by people in my life. They don't know me. None of them do. None of them. Zero. They don't know me. And it's not because I didn't want them to know me. It's just because the only real me has ever been in here. This is the only fullness of BDF 44. It's the creativity that I've poured into this camera. All them other conversations with people have been me trying to keep up with their energy, cope with their energy, or hide as much of me as necessary so that I can be accepted. But at this point, I don't have to be accepted. I have to change things. I see a world full of stuff that I can suggest with my uniqueness of my brain, that I can see things that I believe most can't. And I suggest that. And because I've looked at the world this way, because I've been this way, it's allowed me to be this way. And so I'm like, look, if you're not interested in who I am going forward as it pertains to the things I'm creating, you're probably not going to be interested in the person I used to be either as I go forward. Because I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. I don't want to go to nobody's social gatherings most of the time. And it's not because I don't like you. It's because I don't like social gatherings. I don't like the idea that people are judging me for things like this. Because they don't know me and I can't project to them what I actually am when I'm in their presence for whatever reason. The fullness of my personality, the outspokenness of my conversation, the confrontational nature of my behavior. They don't know this. The way I talk to the Lakers, I don't never talk to nobody like that in real life. Why? Because I'm too busy worried about being accepted. And that's why I believe I'm so unique in regards to how I talk like this, because I can also admit that. 9 out of 10 people who are going to talk to you in the way that I do ain't going to admit to you that they struggle with their confidence. But I don't care for lying about those things, because these things need to be overcome. Do you see? While most people are looking to hide from certain things in their own minds to help project something that doesn't allow them to be weak, I'm trying to actually destroy those weaknesses for real. I'm not interested in hiding from them at all. You feel me? And so that's where I end up running into trouble with a lot of people, because it's like they don't understand that. People are trying to hide, people trying to front, people trying to put on masks, people trying to be accepted for things that ain't real. I don't have any interest in that. I don't. I want to be accepted for exactly who I am, for exactly what it is that I go to do. I want to be forgiven for what it is I struggle with. I want to be accepted for what all these different things that are not possible. If we continue to live in this world where people are pretending to be this way and pretending to be that way, pretending to be fine, all these different things, and it just gets to a point for me where I'm like, I don't want to pretend. I don't want to pretend with none of y'all. Because when I'm serious and I'm not pretending, I can come up with all kinds of stuff that nobody else sees me coming up with, if not for the realization that I don't even have to front like that. You know? And this is what bothers me about the world I'm in. Because of the circumstance I'm in, I gotta go out and get some job and dumb my head down completely. Act like I ain't got a creative thought in my head just so I can eat. So I can rub my fingers together and say I have something. Or I could take all of this talent that I got, understand what it is good for in this society, and let these people exploit the hell out of me so they can continue funding whatever God knows what as yet another celebrity with creative juices that they can give $1 billion to if I'm nice to them, or take it back and smear my name, or all kinds of weird stuff that they do to creative people in this world. I do not find myself blind to that either. I don't want that. You think I want the celebrity life? Bro, they've made the celebrity life something people shouldn't want. The last people to find that out are the celebrities. That ain't no life you should want. They are putting you on a pedal as a spectacle. They're not valuing your talent at all. Half the time, they're not even allowing you to display your talent. They're too busy asking you to meet the numbers. You can't rap? We'll send you over here. Be in the Mickey Mouse Club. Dance with them. You can't do that? Cool. Go hang with dude over there and do Lion King music with him. Dance with him. Like, what? I'm watching 6ix9ine. I know what these guys are doing. I'm watching Quavo. I know what they're doing. When you don't have any other plan but to garner the attention of people, they just slip you around wherever you can go. Nah, you can't make people watch him over there. Put them in a clown suit. See if they watch him over there. Nah, that ain't gonna watch him over there. All right, throw him next to a bunch of women. See if they watch him over there. Nah, I don't know. Send him back to the streets. Can't do nothing with him. Grab another one. Huh? Can we put him near? Nah, throw him next to that person. Let's see if he does well on late night TV. Can't put him there, huh? All right, put him in the NBA basketball halftime show. See if he works there. Anybody watching him there? Cool. All right, that worked. All right, put him in it. No. You know why this doesn't work for me? Because I think like that too. That's why it doesn't work for me. Because I think like the artists. I think like the people behind the artists. I think like the people above them. And I think like the people above them. So it's going to get to a point where Puffy going to get a hold of my talent. He going to want me to do something. I'm going to be like, no, you go. No, you go. And he going to send me back to the streets. I'm going to be like, cool. That's how I ain't going to go get no pie for you. I ain't going to get no pie for you. You know why? Because with this brain, I can get 8 or 9 other groups of people to go get pie, soup, bread. This brain ain't going to be running no errands for you. I'm going to get more people to do more for me than you got going to do for you. That's how I think. I ain't going to be able to be a support, and it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to play that position, not with this brain. It'll falter. I'm going to come up with something that makes sense to me. I'm going to challenge that, and you're going to be mad at me. Not going to work. Dame Dash, all these folks ain't going to yell at me. Good for you. You're not going to get nothing out of me. It's not going to work. Do. No. I do it when I'm ready. Doesn't work. That's how it ends up going, like that type of pressure. It don't work on me. Me? This brain? Have you ever heard me talk to Lakers? Never gonna work. And that's why you have never heard of me. That's why, because I'm not going to act right. not. I'm not Kanye, I'm not Kyrie, but I am BDF. It's something like that. It's something like that. Honestly, and I've always told people in this camera, I don't think the people behind the curtain want to pay me. I don't think they want to. They're going to love my talent. They're going to love the idea that I can come up with real quick stuff. They be paying people 2 and 3 months at a time to figure out something I figure out on the fly. I get that. But you also got to deal with the fact that I'm this way. And I'm like, yo, I know y'all interested in making money, but I'm more so interested in this and the integrity of this, that, and the third. And I see people over there starving because of what you're doing. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over there and tell them people you're doing this. You know why? Because I care about people. I really do. And it ain't just the people here, so you can't exalt me with my own things. It's like, oh, Brandon, you're going to be the greatest. We're going to put you on the top of the stars. We're going to put your name on the moon. And then from there, you'll be God. And you know what I'm going to say? As soon as I get to the moon, I'm going to scrape that stuff down. I'm going to praise God. And I'm going to tell everybody what you did. Because exalting me is no good. It's no good. Everybody paying attention to me and not paying attention to what they're supposed to be. No, I'm trying to help people redirect their focus back to what they should be. God. The same thing I'm paying attention to. The only thing that's going to get us anywhere. God. And not the corny version of God that's going to demand that you do things right and suffer and eat bad food and hate your life and be completely sad until the end of the life, as to which he gives you literally everything at the end. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. There's a sweet medium to that. The sweet medium. You find your way, you stumble, you turn back to him, you say, I want to do better. He tells you this is how we're going to do better, and he continues to push you forward toward people that you can help and towards people that can help you. Anything in between, anything other around that is not real. That's not real. You're going toward things for the wrong reasons, asking stuff that can't make you happy to make you happy, and as a result, you find yourself in a position to go the opposite direction. It's simply the opposite direction a lot of times. People get all the money, but they don't get the respect. People go for all of the money, but they don't keep their freedom. People go for all these different things that measure up to other people's measures, and they realize there are higher measures to reach when they get them. You find yourself empty because it's not anything there. It's nothing there. Because it's not really anything at all. These people are giving you what they want you to want for yourself when it's not really anything to want at all. Exploit me. Put me in a position to be seen as an absolute idiot so everybody pays attention to me. And then what? And then over time you deal with that, right? Over time you deal with getting your butt whooped at LA Fitness because you went around 2-3 years ago doing that, letting everybody do whatever just to get attention. I don't want attention if it's not going to be something of substance that's coming out of my mouth to give you. I don't want you looking at me just because I got a clown suit on. What the hell is that going to do? What does that do? I'm not an art piece. I'm not a pyramid. Just stand here and look at me because I'm beautiful. No, I gotta be able to do something, give you something of substance. Otherwise, I'm just here taking up space. And if I was here to take up space, he wouldn't give me faith. He wouldn't give me the head that I have. He wouldn't put me in a spirit of mind to do all the things that I've done, to have the mistakes that I've made, so that I'd be wanting to do the things that I'm doing right now, as to which I never would if I wouldn't have made the certain mistakes I made. I'm gonna want to make a therapy session if my head's on straight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna want to do this channel if things were fine. It have to be a certain way in order for this to even be possible. And that it is possible is necessary, in my opinion. And I'm gonna prove that. And so at this point, it's like, look, if you're not on board, that's okay. But don't get on board when you see the aftermath of what it is I'm doing. When people say he sucks, he's the worst person in the world, or he's a legend and we love him, or anything in between, just understand where I'm at right now. If you're not interested now, that's cool. Maybe you'll be interested later. But my enthusiasm, not really. Because I don't do this for the numbers, I do this for the reach. And the people I want to reach the most are the people I love the most. And if I can't reach them, you know what I'm saying? Because they're just not interested. Yeah. Not because I suck. You know what I'm saying? Not because I'm not displaying what I believe is progression in what I'm doing. Just because they love at me. They don't know to love the human. They just love the idea of the human they believe I am, who's far away. And at times, it's like, yo, can we see about this human? It's like, yeah. Yeah. On the channel. For sure. That's where I'm at. Because anytime else you see me, it's just me trying to cope with the fact that I'm being out in the world anxious. being out in the world or outside of my comfort zone, being out in the world trying to capitulate to somebody else's behavioral patterns so that I can be normal, as to which, I don't know, man. I don't even know what that means when I look around and see so much flawed in the way that we agree. There's so much flawed. I'm just trying to hurry and get to 2033. I don't care nothing about this era. I really don't. That's how I feel. It's one of the reasons why I say to myself, in this era, that out there, if I can stay away from that as long as possible, it's actually good for me. It's actually very good for me. Let's being honest with you. Regardless of what is considered sane or not sane, this or that, like I said, I see things most people don't see. And when it really comes down to it, it's the best place for me. Alone in a creative space, away from certain influences that would otherwise pull me away from that creative space, or send my mind into a triggered space where I feel like I'm unloved or unliked or not cared for or forgotten about or whatever the hell it is. I don't need it. That's what it really comes down to. I don't desire that behavior, that energy, or any of that around me. So that's why I found solitude alone, man. Kind of sad about it disappearing. You know what I mean? As it pertains to me being evicted out of this house and probably being forced to either live outside or live with somebody else, because I'm not wired for that. I've never lived with anybody but my mother, and that didn't go well. That never went well. And so it's just one of those situations where I don't know what the future holds for me, but I do hope that the Most High has something better than just me thrusting back into these people's lives saying, can you please give me something somehow? I don't want nothing. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, honestly. This is where I belong, right here, letting my brain flow in the directions that it does naturally as great things just continue to fly out of it for no reason. That's what I'm best at, not being a security guard, not boss, what you got going on? Can I get a lunch break? No, I don't want a lunch break. I want a break from this forever. And I don't want anybody else who's creative to ever have to do anything you ask them to do either. I think your job is respectable. I think anybody who's wired to be there and who has the gift of whatever it is should be there. But if that ain't you, and if that's not how you're wired, and that goes against every bit of your spirit, then that should not be the way you eat. And that don't just go for Americans. That goes for anybody, any society, anywhere, in any time, including the ones that are suppressed behind nonsense. People cannot move because it's just a culture. We don't let our citizens think. That is bullcrap, and y'all need to change. Because free thinking is cool, and there's a lot of possibilities that come from it. Cool is the word I use. Responsible, depending on how you swaying people. But at the end of the day, once you put people in a position to think for themselves, a lot of great things, including healing, can come from that. A lot of healing. Healing that nations need, that they refuse to allow their people to have because they're too busy trying to stay in place structure. And that structure is going to end up deteriorating the humanity within y'all if it hasn't already. Let people think. And teach them how to do so. That's what I'm on, man. So I think if you're not paying attention to that message, and you love at me, you're probably not going to get the energy from me that you used to getting. So what it really comes down to, especially since I'm going through all these tough times by myself, I don't want to be social. I'm not trying to be nobody's boyfriend. I'm not trying to go out on no dates. I'm just being honest. That's who I am. I'm not going to lie to you. Because every time I'm in those situations, I'm lesser self. I'm not this. I tell you that. I'm not this. Whatever it is, it ain't this. It's some sheepish, lesser version, acceptable version to you of this person. And last time I was that person, I wasn't this person. So I don't even know how that works. You ever heard how people say those two worlds don't collide? This is what that is. I ain't never been that before this way. So next time I go out there, who knows how to be? But I tell you this, I am somewhat resentful of that energy. Keep that. People who are mad at me for not being at your wedding because I was sick, keep your energy. That's what I want to say to my old friend there. Because a lot of people knew I was not well. And they knew I needed help. I didn't. They did. They didn't help. They didn't care. They didn't suggest. They just sat there and watched me struggle. And when it got to a point where it was too much for them to watch me struggle, they left. Or when I didn't do what they wanted me to do, or be the way they wanted me to be, they bounced. You know what I mean? So, my thing is, maybe success never comes from me. Maybe I don't get success because I'm like this. So maybe they got it right. Out of sight, out of mind, broke people don't get no attention. But if this thing turns around, it's going to take a lot of prayer for me to have the right mindset about those folks. It's going to take a lot. Because at the end of the day, I needed a lot. And they didn't notice. It's not that they didn't offer. It's not that they didn't care. They didn't notice. They didn't notice how sick I was, how much pain I was in, how brilliant I was. A lot of those folks expressed to me they thought my mind wasn't that smart. But some of those people, the reason why I stay away from some of them folks right now is because they saw me as someone who was stupid. That's the irony. I'm an overthinker, super overthinker, stupid. Couldn't put two thoughts together, slow. And see, a lot of that was sad because I didn't know any better. So I just listen to them, internalize, believe it, be less for it. And you get to a point where you grow, you get to this era of your life, you look at what you can do and you're like, stupid. The person who's capable of what it is I'm doing now, and the person who's capable of overcoming what I'm overcoming now. Yeah, I made some bad decisions. Sick? Yeah. Ill, behavioral patterns off, not handling things properly, emotionally imbalanced. Of course, all of that, I'll give you in a half, even more. I got more than that. But stupid? Nah, I know what stupid is. I ain't that. In fact, I'm far from it. And then a lot of the energy that was pointed in my direction in regards to making me feel like I didn't have intelligence, that's the energy I'm angry at right now. And a lot of the people that I believe loved at me, they were the people who had me feeling that way about myself a lot of times. You can't do math? No, I can't do math. That ain't my. I'm not wired for that. I'm a sound person. You don't remember that? No, I don't remember shit. No, I can definitely recite to you every song I've ever heard in my life, though. Every tune, every song. I never forget any tune. Okay? That's one of my gifts. I misspeak, though. I might use the wrong word here and there. Throw off the whole meaning of what I'm saying. But if you listen to the fullness of what I'm saying, I'm giving you 100 different angles. Stupid. People used to get mad at me. You don't remember 1 plus 8? It's 8 times 7? No, I don't remember what 8 times 7 is, bro. No, I do not. But I understand speed patterns. Slowing down and still being able to get your inertia to where you need to go, where everybody's moving fast around you. I know how to slow down. I know how to speed up. I know how to adapt to shit. Stupid. It's like people don't even have the concepts in their head that I have in mine. They need what I got. Calling me stupid. So look back on stuff and it's just like, yo, you get angry. You get angry at how you were managed by people who's supposed to be loving of you. People who loved me. They managed me. Didn't know the first thing about what it is I could do. Wasn't trying to cultivate me to becoming that or none of that. If anything, some of them folks was telling me, yo, you need to stop trying to write so much poetry. You need to stop doing all this, because what are you going to do when it's time for you to have this, and this? What are you going to do? I remember my grandfather hit me with the what are you going to do one day. What am I going to do? Look how it turned out, Pops. This is what it did. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type of resentment plays back in your head over and over again as you grow up, and you just look around at all the people who didn't believe in you, or believed in you in the way that they believed in others, not in the way that they needed to believe in this brain. And it's just like, man, what? I had to do this by myself. All of it. Anything that's about to happen had to be done by myself. Maybe some folks throw a couple dollars at me. Maybe they tell me to keep going. But you know what I'm saying? Alone. How did I get to a point where I was even conditioned to be this alone? It's people neglecting me. And I was fine with it. That's what happened. I had a world full of people who were cool with not being in my life. Just fine. For years or 2 years at a time. They were fine with me not being there. Would it not be the same if I was a billionaire? It fucking better be. That's what I have to say to them. It better be. With all the stuff that I'm capable of doing, with all the people that I believe I can feed with my talent, it better be. Because that's all I'm dreaming of these days. That's all I'm dreaming of. That's all I'm doing. Every time I get in this camera, I try to display my talent. Every time I get in here and display my truth. Right now, I'm thinking about this voice, if heard by the right people, can propel me into positions to help people. Not at people, but what it is they need. Not loving at people, hey, you need this. No, you tell me what you need, and we can put you in a position to have it. This is what you need. Okay, that's what you get it. Not, hey, he's a person. Throw some food at him. He needs money. Give him money. Man don't need money. He needs somebody to see him for who he is and what he can do for the world and for himself. And if you don't see that man, get out of his life. BDF 44. I'll take you off watching. Out.